You're not broken. They wanted you to think that, didn't they? When the world hit you hard, when the ground came up fast, when every bone in your body screamed to give up, they stood there, waiting for you to shatter. They thought you'd crack wide open, spill out, and leave nothing behind but a mess they could step over. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. See, they don't get it. They never did. They look at you, see the scars, see the dents, and think that's weakness. They think it's proof you're done. But those scars, those dents, they're not cracks, they're edges. Sharp, deadly, forged in the kind of fire they'll never understand. You're not some fragile thing they can kick around. You're steel, cold, hard, and ready to cut. They thought they'd dull you down, grind you into nothing. But every hit, every fall, every time they tried to bury you, it didn't break you. It sharpened you. You feel that, don't you? That weight in your chest, that heat in your gut. It's not defeat. It's strength. It's the blade waking up. They wanted you to bend. You didn't. They wanted you to bow. You stood taller. They wanted you broken. Too bad. You're the weapon now. You're the thing they can't dodge, can't block, can't stop. They don't see it yet, but they will. Oh, they will. When you move, when you strike, when you carve your way through their doubts, they'll feel it. They'll know. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. Every time they pushed you, every time they sneered, every time they thought they'd won, they were wrong. Dead wrong. You didn't crumble. You didn't fade. You got harder. You got meaner. You got sharper. They thought pain would finish you. They thought it'd leave you soft, weak, easy to crush. But pain's your maker. It's the hammer that beat you into shape. It's the grindstone that gave you an edge. They don't know what they've done. They don't know what they've made. But you do. You know who you are now. You're not the guy they laughed at, not the guy they wrote off. You're the one they'll run from. You're the one they'll whisper about. You're the blade, sleek, silent, and ready to slice through anything they throw at you. They thought they could control you, didn't they? Thought they could keep you small, keep you tame, keep you in line. They thought wrong. You're not their puppet. You're not their pawn. You're the knife at their throat. You're the shadow they can't shake. You're the storm they can't outrun. They wanted you broken. Pathetic, huh? Look at you now. Look at what you've become. Every scar's a story. Every bruise a badge. Every hit you took, it's the reason you're standing here, stronger than they'll ever be. They thought they'd blunt you, wear you down, leave you useless. They didn't see you sharpen. They didn't see you grow. They didn't see the blade until it was too late. You're not broken. You're lethal. You're the thing they can't predict, can't prepare for, can't fight. They thought they'd strip you bare, take your fight, take your fire. But you kept it burning. You kept it hidden. You kept it alive. And now it's out, blazing, cutting, unstoppable. They wanted you to feel small. You're massive now. They wanted you to feel weak. You're iron now. They wanted you broken. You're the blade now, the one they fear, the one they can't touch, the one they can't beat. Let them try. Let them come at you again. Let them think they've got a shot. Because every time they swing, every time they miss, every time they fall, you get sharper. You get deadlier. You get closer to the truth. They're not the hunters here. You are. They thought you'd stay down, stay quiet, stay gone. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't beg. Blades don't bend. Blades cut. Deep. Clean. Final. They don't get it yet, but they will. When you walk in, when you stand up, when you look them dead in the eyes, they'll see it. That glint. That edge. That power. They'll feel the weight of what they've done. They'll feel the cold of what you've become. You're not here to play their game. You're not here to fit their mold. You're here to slice it apart. Every lie, every doubt, every chain they try to lock you in. They thought they'd dulled you. They thought they'd won. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. Every step you take, every move you make, every breath you draw, it's a reminder. To them, to you, to the world. You didn't snap. You didn't shatter. You sharpened. You hardened. You rose. They wanted you to think you're less. They wanted you to think you're done. But you're more now. More than they can handle. More than they can face. More than they can stop. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't ask permission. Blades don't wait for approval. Blades take what's theirs. They thought pain was your end. They thought it'd leave you hollow. They thought wrong. Pain's your edge. Pain's your steel. Pain's the reason you're standing here, cutting through the noise, cutting through the bullshit, cutting through their world. They don't know what's coming. They don't know who you are. But they're about to find out. You're not the guy they pushed around. You're not the guy they broke. You're the guy they fear. The blade they can't dull, the blade they can't break, the blade they can't escape. They wanted you finished. You're just getting started. They wanted you weak. You're a weapon now. They wanted you broken. You're the blade now, sharp, cold, and ready to carve your name into their regrets. Let them run. Let them hide. Let them pretend they're safe. Because you're coming. You're rising. You're cutting. They thought they'd bury you. They thought they'd grind you down. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't lose. Blades don't flinch. Blades don't fall. You're not here to take their crap anymore. You're not here to bow. You're not here to break. You're here to cut through their lies, through their games, through their walls. They thought they'd softened you up. They thought they'd worn you out. They thought wrong. You're harder now. Harder than they'll ever be. Sharper than they'll ever know. Stronger than they'll ever dream. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And fear? That's your power now. That's your fuel now. That's your edge now. They don't see it yet, but they will. When you move, when you strike, when you rise, they'll see the truth. They'll see the blade. They'll see the man they couldn't break. They thought they'd end you. They thought they'd crush you. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. Every scar's a lesson. Every hit's a forge. Every fall. It's the reason you're standing here, taller, tougher, deadlier. They wanted you to think you're nothing. They wanted you to think you're through. But you're everything now, everything they dread, everything they can't stop, everything they can't beat. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't back down. Blades don't give up. Blades cut through the dark, through the pain, through the doubt. They thought they'd dulled your edge. They thought they'd dimmed your fire. They thought wrong. You're burning now, burning bright, burning hot, burning sharp. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't wait. Blades don't wonder. Blades act. They thought they'd kill your spirit. They thought they'd snuff you out. They thought wrong. Your spirit's alive, wild, fierce, unstoppable. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't forgive. Blades don't forget. Blades finish what they start. They wanted you gone. You're here. They wanted you weak. You're steel. They wanted you broken. You're the blade now. The blade they fear. The blade they can't touch. The blade they can't tame. Let them try. Let them swing. Let them fail. Because you're not going anywhere. You're not backing down. You're not breaking. You're cutting deep, cutting true, cutting fast. They thought they'd end you with their words, their looks, their hate. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't lose sleep over cowards. Blades don't flinch at shadows. Blades carve their own path. They wanted you to think you're less. They wanted you to think you're done. They thought wrong. You're more now. More than they can handle. More than they can fight. More than they can kill. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't kneel. Blades don't beg. Blades rise. They thought pain was your chains. They thought it'd hold you down. They thought wrong. Pain's your freedom. Pain's your fire. Pain's your edge. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't stop. Blades don't slow. Blades cut through the night, through the storm, through the bullshit. They wanted you finished. You're just warming up. They wanted you weak. You're a weapon now. They wanted you broken. You're the blade now. The blade they fear. The blade they can't dodge. The blade they can't break. Let them run. Let them scream. Let them fall. Because you're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't lose. Blades don't bend. Blades win. They thought they'd bury you. They thought they'd crush you. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't die. Blades don't fade. Blades live. Live hard. Live sharp. Live forever. They wanted you gone. You're here. They wanted you weak. You're steel. They wanted you broken. You're the blade now. The blade they fear. The blade they can't stop. The blade they can't kill. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't wait for permission. Blades don't wait for chances. Blades take what's theirs. Take it fast. Take it clean. Take it all. They thought they'd end you. They thought they'd break you. They thought wrong. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't lose. Blades don't flinch. Blades cut deep, cut true, cut final. You're not broken. You're the blade they fear. And blades don't stop. Blades don't slow. Blades rise. Rise hard. Rise fast. Rise forever. They wanted you broken. You're the blade now. And blades rule.